Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the World of Wrestling podcast. Here today to discuss about AEW Dynamite, January 21st, 2026 review. Do I really have to sit here and talk to you guys for almost 30 minutes about this show? There was nothing that really happened. Outside of the brief promo that MJF cut and the little hinting of Brody King being one of MJF's opponents, as well as a laundry list of other guys, we had our main event of the show being fucking Swerve Strickland and Kevin Knight. Where does this come into play? And why would Swerve Strickland need to face one of tag team partners of Hangman Page? This to me makes absolutely no sense. The only thing that I can remotely say that's any positivity from this matchup is the fact that MJF is watching on from the rafters, watching this match, and kind of just observing and kind of studying his probably more than likely next opponent. The match was fine. I'm not going to say the match was shit. I don't think this match should have been the main event. I think Kenny Omega and Josh Alexander should have been our main event of the night. That match was fucking killer of a match. Not to mention, they could have cut a promo with Kenny Omega on MJF, made MJF and Kenny Omega be the next matchup at Revolution. That would have been a stellar of an idea to go that route. Will Ospreay going after the world title will be a great move to build towards All In Wembley. But we need to get Will Ospreay back as soon as we possibly can, and as long as he's in good health condition to actually wrestle. Hopefully that's the case. If not, I think MJF should remain the world champion until either Will Ospreay comes back or they see some major increase in popularity for Brody King, which he already has. He has popularity. The fans were cheering for him during the segment that he had with MJF. And if Will Ospreay can't be there to take the title off of MJF by All In, I think Brody King's the perfect guy for that role. I really do. I think he's a breath of fresh air. The man has never had a run with a world championship in any promotion, even Ring of Honor, at the time when they were separate from AEW and they were their own entity. Brody King seems like a strong possibility of Will Ospreay is not able to make it by All In. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, MJF, I think he's the guy that needs to stay champion all the way through till All In, which I believe is in August. Like, late August? Let me just double check that. Because I don't think it's like how it was before at all. So let me take a look here at All In real quick. See when All In is taking place. It's taking place August 30th. So, that, I mean, if we can't get Will Ospreay back in some remote possibility of being believable enough to get a shot for the title with some wins against some decent names going into this pay-per-view, I honestly think that Brody King should be the guy that is the one that takes the title off of MJF. I hope they don't blow their load and just try to force something that doesn't need to happen right away. I think this should be a foreshadowing of what happens in the future, possibly, if Will Ospreay is not able to be there. If anything, at least give the guy if you know that Will Ospreay is going to be there for All In, I would say give him the match at Double or Nothing and have him job out to MJF as one of the victims to MJF's title defenses. But later on in the future, like, have him win the world title right after Will Ospreay. That's what I would do, personally. So anyway, let's just get right into the details of what occurred. MJF brags about the life he lives, including his hot wife, and the fact he has the Triple B before running down those who claim to be the world champion, saying the stuff coming out of their mouths is the same coming out of their ass. He says this is the year of the devil and ain't nobody on his level. Then Brody King seems to disagree as he makes his way to the ring, confront the champ. He talks about not stooping to what MJF is and that he's a little bitch. This gets a chant in response as Brody talks about not putting his hands on MJF because it would cost him what he really wants, which is a shot at MJF and the title right now tonight. MJF offers to think this over. After a few moments, he says, I've been thinking about it, but the answer is going to be no. And not because he's afraid of Brody. That's ridiculous. These fans bark along with King, and that makes sense because it reminds of the phrase, all bark and no bite. He says that Brody doesn't have grounds to challenge after only facing tomato cans, bronies, and jobbers. He tells King he's going to need to beat some elite talent before he can step to the champ, or else they're going to have problems. Last word trails off as King manages to intimidate the champ, forcing him to pivot as he claims he has a lot of business to deal with before leaving the ring. Which he does. He has a lot of talent to scout. He has other people coming after him for his world title. So he has a lot of different opponents he needs to observe and kind of just keep an eye out for as to who's going to be his next opponent. So honestly, I don't see any lies being detected here by MJF. And no, I'm not saying that because I'm being biased because I like the character. It's the truth. He has Kenny Omega. Swerve Strickland was another guy that was observed. He has Hangman Page that's also interested in him. Samoa Joe, who was interested in him. Those are the three guys he defeated to win the world title. So, I mean, those guys are interested in going after his world championship. So, at the end of the day, I mean, he's got a lot of opponents lined up to want to face him for the title. So, he's got a lot to worry about. Then we cut to a video package highlighting last week's Maximum Carnage before heading backstage where the new Trios champions talk each other up ahead of Jet Speed's singles battle later tonight. As a matter of fact, we head to ringside for our opening match as Samoa Joe makes his way out to the ring to face Mike Bailey. Again, what is the point of tag team partners from Adam Hangman Page having matches tonight after they just recently won the Trios tag team titles? Do you guys not see the harm in this? This hurts the Trios tag team champions, with both tag team champions losing their matches to both of these guys, and as they should, because they're at a higher level than both Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. These guys shouldn't even be facing them. They're champions. They shouldn't be jobbing out to former champions. Like, this is ridiculous. It makes no sense. The matches were fine. This match was fine. I'm not having an issue with the matches. But we're talking about storyline progressions, and we're talking about logical sense and reasoning here. If I want to be a legitimate fan, I also have to have logic and reasoning behind all this. And this does not make any sense to do this at all. The selling in this match. Mike Bailey did it for a little while with his knee, and then he stopped. I don't understand this. You then stop. Why? Why are you going to stop selling the injury? It makes absolutely no sense to me. It's downright fucking stupid, honestly. So, me personally, not a fan of it. I think it sucks. Joe won this match. No surprise there. Joe celebrates as we see MJF watching on from backstage. He also was caught backstage watching the Kenny Omega match. And the commentary hypes up the lineup ahead of the Tonight Show. There's also a street fight between the Death Riders and Don Callis family. It makes no fucking sense. Why are we getting a street fight between the Death Riders and the Don Callis family? Like, why? What happened? I saw a YouTube video of them cutting a promo. Did something happen on Collision I don't know about? And if there was, why didn't they air the reason why this match is even taking place from Collision in case people didn't watch it, which they don't. Most people don't. I mean, you got to be out of your fucking mind. Literally out of your fucking mind to air this match. And why a street fight? What the fuck? Could this all of a sudden out of nowhere in 1 week escalate into a street fight? Or am I missing something? Am I not paying attention enough to follow the show or something? Maybe it's on me. I don't know. But I'm not catching any of this shit. Where the fuck is the story here? What did they do? What did the Don Callis family do to the Death Riders in this situation? And by the way, what is 1 minute the Death Riders are playing babyface and the next minute they're playing heels? I don't know if you guys noticed that tonight because I saw that. The Death Riders were attacking babyfaces while also fighting against heels. I'm fucking lost. Really, I am. I am absolutely dumbfounded by this shit. Brutal match. But again, okay, all this carnage and all this insanity. You got fucking Jon Moxley putting himself through fucking barbed wire and thumbtacks. I think even glass. In one spot of this match. And for what? What in the fuck is the payoff here? What are we doing? Just for the sake of harming our bodies? Is Jon Moxley that much of a masochist? He likes to hurt himself? Why don't you just stand in the middle of the ring, cut a promo, and start cutting your fucking wrist? I mean, like, what the fuck are we doing here? This was absolutely uncalled for. It wasn't even necessary to put their bodies through all this unnecessary amount of pain. For what? For oohs and ahs and oh my god? For bloodthirsty psychos? Like, come on! Look, ECW did a lot of hardcore wrestling. I'll admit that. They had fucking stories being told. They had something going on. They had build-ups towards these aggressive matches that occurred on the shows. This fucking company ain't got shit. Let me tell you guys something. I know I've been saying this, and I'm going to say it again. The Royal Rumble is right around the corner in 2 weeks. Next Saturday is the Royal Rumble. If I don't see Braun Breaker winning that fucking Royal Rumble, or Sami Zayn winning that Rumble if he doesn't win the Fatal 4-Way match, and if I don't see someone of a different name that hasn't had a shot for a world championship taking place at this fucking Royal Rumble, and it's Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, the same old faces we have seen for over 10 plus years, I'm done. I'm done with the WWE shit. And this fucking company is giving me no reason to watch them either. My only reasoning behind why I watch is simply for MJF. Because he's the only fucking character in either one of these companies that actually remotely come close of what a story should be told as. He's the only guy that portrays the old school creative character build in modern day wrestling. The guy knows how to work the fans. He knows how to do his job right. He knows how to sell his character. He has layers to his character. He's an insecure fuck. He wants the fans to like him, but at the end of the day, he doesn't like them. But deep down, he really does want them to cheer for him. I mean, this guy has layers to his character that no fucking wrestler in modern day wrestling has. At all. He's one of the top tier wrestlers of modern day wrestling. He is wrestling today with MJF is like Hulk Hogan, John Cena, only he's an anti-hero. He's a Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's a fucking Rock. He's a Ric Flair. Ric Flair was an anti-hero. He did dirty shit, but he also knew how to fight clean too. MJF knows how to fight clean. He's done it before. But when he's not having it his way, what does he do? He goes and does the dirty tricks. Because he wants to win. And if he became a babyface again, I'd expect no different. I expect him to win clean, or if he can't get the win clean against a heel, fight dirty. Eddie Guerrero did that. That's what made him entertaining. Eddie Guerrero would find creative ways to cheat in a match as a fucking babyface if he couldn't get it his way, winning clean. I think that was fucking amazing. That's what made me love Eddie Guerrero. He took all the rules and threw them out the fucking window and broke all the rules as being a babyface. And he made cheating look cool. Even though in reality we should never want to cheat and rob and steal. But in the general sense of a wrestling program, and what we saw, it was fucking fun to see him do what he was doing. It was creative and very enjoyable to watch. MJF, we get that. And you love him even as a heel. While he's insulting you, you still love his character. And he knows it. He fucking knows it. That's why he says, I'm better than you, and you know it. Because we know he's that fucking good. And deservedly so. And I honestly think him going to WWE, unless WWE allows him to be him, I would never go there. I would either stay in AEW while it's sinking and be the best of the best, or I would say fuck wrestling and go into Hollywood and become an actor. And say fuck it to wrestling. That's my attitude. Because if I was to go to WWE and they offered me a contract, I'd say straight up to them, I'd say, 1, I have creative control of my character. I say what I want. I do what I want. In the sense of what I do in the storyline. As long as it meets the direction they're going with the whole storyline that they have him in. He gets to act the same way. He gets to be himself just the way he has been and what's gotten him over, or otherwise, no, I ain't doing it. Goodbye. That's what I'd have in my clause if I was him, in my contract. If they didn't want that, I'd say bye. See ya. Tony Khan will give me plenty of money. They may be a sinking ship, but at least he gives me what I want. I don't need you fuckers. I can keep making money off of this guy, and I can get involved in acting. The guy's already involved in acting. He's starring in movies. Maybe not big roles, but he's getting roles. And he ain't even in WWE yet. That is a fucking star right there. When you can go ahead and get acting roles from another wrestling company that nobody gives two fucks about, compared to a WWE product that's been around over 20, 30, 40 fucking plus years, going on 50 years actually, since the 1970s. You got something going. And you got a lot of leverage over WWE if they want your services. And I would take full advantage of that. Straight up. But yeah, Death Riders end up winning this match. Goody. It was Jon Moxley and Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta going up against the Don Callis family. It consisted of, let's see here, Hechicero, Lance Archer, and Rocky Romero. Outside of Lance Archer, who hasn't been on television really doing anything, the two of those guys are a fucking joke. Like, literally. After the match is over, Riders leave the ring with Shafir holding a microphone for Mox as he tells Callis, "Tell your boy to find me," before they exit through the crowd. Who's his boy? Don Callis' boy. Is he talking about Kyle Fletcher? Takeshita? Okada? Who the fuck's he talking about? I don't get this shit. Makes no fucking sense to me. If he's talking about Kyle Fletcher, great match. I would have Jon Moxley drop the title to him for the Continental title. That would be a fucking killer of a match. But there's no story to this. Where's the fucking story? I don't know anything about Kyle Fletcher and Jon Moxley right now. Kyle Fletcher hasn't been seen on television, I think since World's End. Or some shit. I don't know. Like, what the fuck? So, next we go backstage. Tekla, this time they're not actually in the corner of a women's standing bathroom. They're actually in a locker room. Which I guess is a little bit better than where they've been in the last couple of weeks. Like a fucking hallway, stairwell, and a fucking bathroom where the women do their showers. This time they're in an actual locker room. And this is what was said by Tekla and the group. She went ahead and said that, who tells Chris Statlander she's giving the champ 1 week to pretend the Toxic Spider is intimidated before she gets her shot at the Women's World title next week? Why is Tekla getting a World Championship opportunity this soon? Why are we building towards Revolution? You have weeks, months, till Revolution. Why aren't we building a storyline to this to give us a reason to care for this match to even take place? Oh, I can tell you all why. Here's the reason why. Creatively, in AEW, they're fucking bankrupt creatively. They don't know what to fucking do. So they just book it instantly once they get the match kind of like started in motion, but they don't build layers of shit to get people amped up and excited to see this match. We don't get no build towards Tekla and her character. Like, who is Tekla? Why is she the way she is? Like, what makes her such a dominating character that's going to be a huge obstacle for Chris Statlander to have to overcome? Highlight her in some really good matches. Make her have some squash matches. Have her face some big names, even. Bring in, fucking, hell, I even throw out there Mercedes Moné. I mean, that's a little crazy, but have her beat, like, Toni Storm, Mina, fucking, hell, even bring in Britt Baker, if you want. Take her off out of Guantanamo Bay, man. Get her off the fucking couch and bring her in. Have her have a match. You could have built something like that in a couple of weeks with her and made her look that good going up against a world champion. You could have even have done that. We're getting this match next week. Well, what the fuck's happening after that? I don't think Tekla is winning this match. This is absolutely retarded. I don't understand this fucking logic. Tekla would be a great women's champion. And I cannot care to see her win the world title in this way. I really can't. So, the rest of the triangle addressed Willow Nightingale as Julia Hart wants a crack at the TBS title. Why? What did she do to earn a TBS Women's Championship match? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? What a fucking joke. Tekla says if she wants a taste of the toxic, then Tekla says if they want a taste of the toxic, they can drown in it, and then she spits in the camera, and that I liked. I actually liked that. That showed a lot of aggression. It made her very vile and disgusting. It made her look fucking crazy as shit, in a sense, and just a vile person. Pretty much living up to the word toxic, disgusting, whatever. I thought the promo was fantastic. I think Tekla is fantastic, but you're putting her in a situation where there's no rhyme or reason to take the title off of Chris Statlander with only a win over Chris Statlander in a 6-women's tag team match. Like, where the fuck does that make any sense? And how does this help Tekla in any way by her taking an L in her first Women's World Championship match? Is this a test? Is this to see how she does in a World Championship match? And then we revisit this match later? I mean, this is like a reenactment of Braun Breaker, for God's sakes. Which, again, I say, Braun Breaker better be winning that Royal Rumble and winning that world title at WrestleMania. I am fucking dead-ass serious. There ain't no rhyme or reason why anyone else should win that damn Royal Rumble but him. And this, I don't understand this at all either. Like, what are we fucking doing here? She's not a babyface. You don't need to put her in a championship match to test her and see how she does so she can warrant herself back in for a women's world title match all out of nowhere by working her way back to the top. Like as if she's a fucking babyface. She's not a babyface. She's a heel. She's vile. She's disgusting. She's toxic. And she does what a heel is supposed to do. Be a fucking villainous, low-down piece of dirt. And that's what she does. And she's very good at what she does. She cuts very good promos. Her wrestling is not bad either. But you're putting her in a situation that doesn't put her in a positive light. And does not make people care about her. You know how you care and how you get heat on her? Have her win the fucking world title in a build towards the reason as to why she earned the fucking belt. Make her attack the rest of the Willow Nightingale. Have her do some crazy stunts with Willow Nightingale. Utilize Willow Nightingale as a fucking chip to getting what she wants. Doing something. injuring Willow Nightingale in a storyline injury, taking her off for a month or so. They don't have to strip them of the tag team titles or anything, you know? Just give them something to get the fans interested, to get the fans to get Chris Statlander's attention. Because a win over Chris Statlander in a 6 women's tag team match, I mean, personally, okay, yeah, she got a win over the women's world champion. I get that, but where's the build? Where's the intrigue? Where is the fucking hype? Could you imagine having, like, a UFC fight or a boxing event with no hype, no press conference, no reason to care, just boop, right there, match, the fight's taking place, you watch the fight, that's it. No! These guys have press conferences, they cut promos, they shit on each other, they get up in each other's faces, they bitch and argue with each other on X. They do shit. And they say things to get you intrigued and hyped up for this fight and want to purchase the fucking pay-per-view on a boxing event. They do the same thing with MMA. If you watch the press conferences, they build towards it by what they say to each other, how they feel about that person, having a little controversy, having emotional investment of anger or dislike or disrespect towards someone. Someone acting like a complete ass and getting the fans interested in watching that fighter get his ass kicked. People don't like Jon Jones, but I'll tell you what, when they had the pay-per-view model, people paid to go see Jon Jones, and they wanted to see him do one thing and one thing only, lose. And the problem is, he didn't, because he was so fucking good at what he did. Problem was, he was a douchebag outside of the octagon. Funny thing is, he praised Jesus Christ, which I think is great, but then you got him doing hit and run issues, having cocaine, strippers, and whatever other fucking dumb shit a Christian doesn't do. And doesn't try to emulate or be like. You set the example. You don't fucking live a life like Jon Jones and say you're a Christian. It's just hypocritical. But maybe he does believe in God, but he just doesn't know how to get away from that, which is fine. I mean, that's his life, that's his deal, that's his thing he has to deal with. That's not my judgment call to make on him whether he's a Christian or not, but if you're going to say you're a Christian, live up to the standard of a Christian, you know? I mean, you're going to make mistakes, of course. I'm a Christian. I know I cuss. I shouldn't cuss. I really should want to watch my mouth, but I don't feel like cussing is like evil. I don't see it as bad unless you're using it to derogatorily put someone down. Then I see that is an issue. I don't do that kind of shit. I don't put people down and make them feel like crap. That's being a bully. That's being an asshole. I don't do that stuff. I was bullied. I'm not going to bully other people. So. But anyway, let's move on because I want to get this review over with. FTR... They faced Jordan Oliver and Alec Pierce. These are 2 newcomers that came into AEW that were signed over the weekend during Limitless Wrestling. MJF had a World Championship match against Alec Price. Had a really good match, and they were granted contracts into AEW. I think that was pretty cool, but to put them already in a tag team match against World Tag Team Champions like FTR... absolutely fucking dumb. That's not the way you debut a fucking tag team. That really is not how you introduce them. Bring them in with a fucking W. I mean, then again, John Cena came in, he faced Kurt Angle in his debut and he lost. So, I guess I can't say that was a terrible thing. I guess that's showing showing the audience that, Tony Khan's highly interested in these 2, and they might have a bright future or something, I guess, but this match did nothing for me. Anyway, FTR celebrate after the match. Then we go backstage where Chris Statlander and the Babes of Wrath have a response to the Triangle of Madness. Stat looks to accept the challenge of Tekla. Of course she does. And Willow would take on Julia to defend the TBS Women's Championship. Harley Cameron confirms that she will also be there. Their babe they have, and as Stat puts it, all the titles that the Triangle want. Okay. With that, we get a confirmation of the matches for this Saturday, yada, yada, yada. Back at ringside, Kenny Omega starting his match with Josh Alexander. This was a fucking awesome match. Very enjoyable. If you were to go back and watch this show, this is a match you definitely don't want to skip. This was a fucking awesome match. Josh Alexander, though, man, I really feel bad for this dude. This dude was doing great stuff in TNA, was a main event player in that company. Here, he's just a fucking jobbed out clown. I don't understand this. Wouldn't you want to help Josh Alexander to be something remotely interesting on this show? I mean, I can understand not everyone's going to win the world title or be in the main event scene, but at least make him a prominent character on the show. Because, honestly, the Don Callis family, in my opinion, that should matter is Josh Alexander, Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita, and Okada. I mean, until Takeshita or Okada get removed from the Don Callis family. But those should be the top 4 focus points on the Don Callis family. The rest of them, just get rid of them. They're not needed. But this match, great matchup. These two fucking killed each other. Very enjoyable stuff by both of these guys. So Omega celebrates as we see MJF watching them from the back. Omega asks for the mic to address Uncle Don as he talks about what Callis has had done to him over the past several months before saying in front of his new home of Orlando that he's never felt better. Yes, he now lives in Orlando. How interesting. Anyway, there's not one member of Don Callis' family that can beat him and stop him from winning back the world championship. He'd love to talk Don's ear off, but he must bid him adieu. So good night, mwah, and goodbye, bang. Okay. Next, we get a rundown by Taz of the technical style of the match breakdown from Maximum Carnage between MJF and Bandino for the AEW World title. Explaining the inverted armbar and then transitioning it to the label lock and how this hurts your opponent. I didn't know that Taz was John Madden of wrestling. What the fuck? What the hell do we need a breakdown of a fictional fucking match? A match that's predetermined. This is my problem with wrestling these days. I am getting tired of the limits, the fucking glass ceiling, nice and thick that no one can break through, the politics, the bullshit that goes on backstage. The whole thing in wrestling has got to stop. They have got to end this political bullshit that goes on backstage in these wrestling promotions. That is what's killing fucking wrestling altogether. They need to pay attention to their fucking audience, or otherwise they're going to lose every fucking person known to man that no TV station, no streaming platform will have any interest in pro wrestling at all. It will be more dead than boxing could ever be. And boxing is a pretty fucking dead product. You don't hear a peep advertisement, mainstream media advertising boxing whatsoever. It is so fucking dead, it's ridiculous. And pro wrestling is becoming that way. You think Netflix is going to continue to keep WWE Raw on their fucking platform when they can't even hit the top 10 global views? Are you fucking kidding me? And you think USA Network is going to keep WWE SmackDown as the ratings continue to dip week after week after week after week and year after year after year? I am surprised that USA Network has kept them for as long as they have. This shit has got to stop. We have got to get back to the basics. We have got to tell stories. We have got to have things being explained inside the ring. When you've got a body part being attacked, it needs to be utilized and used and sold. We need to have these wrestlers selling themselves, not having the fucking people backstage who don't do the shit no more, who don't know them at all as the person. Let them do their shit, give them the baseline of what they're supposed to follow in the story, or what they're cutting in a promo, and let them sell themselves. You build your character. You do what you need to do. They have to make the character for them like they're fucking retarded or something. Are you kidding me? They're supposed to be sellers. You know what these fucking wrestlers are now? They're like modern day everyday workers, 9 to 5. Only they don't follow an actual schedule. They work whenever they're told to work, and they do what they're told without questioning a fucking thing half the time. And if they do, well, fuck, they might as well lose their job. This is the fucking logic going on in the wrestling business today. This isn't just AEW problem. This is a wrestling problem. I used to be huge on wrestling. If I missed a Raw, SmackDown, anything that I enjoyed watching, I would fucking lose my shit over it. Now I watch it and I spend half my fucking time looking at my phone. Cause the shit ain't even that entertaining. I had more interest in possibly going ahead and flipping the channel and watching a fucking basketball game that I bet on. I mean, give me a fucking break here. Wasting people's time 2+ hours. I could understand if you had watched wrestling every single day of the week because it was good and entertaining. This shit's not good at all. This shit's just fucking dead as a fucking corpse. Anyway, let's move on. Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford went up against Timeless Love Bombs with Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. This match didn't give a flying fuck about. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford get the W by pinning Mina. And that's it. As Shafir keeps Storm from getting back in the ring. Yeah, Shafir got back in this match, got involved in this match, and Shafir flips off the crowd, showing that whatever is going on with the Death Riders hasn't stopped her from being pals with Bayne and Ford as commentary looks ahead to the big matches for Collision and then next week. But up next is our main event with Swerve Strickland and Kevin Knight. I'm scratching my head going, the Death Riders are playing babyface, while in the same breath playing heels. Tell me where the fuck this makes any sense to you guys, because it makes no fucking sense to me. God almighty. Anyway, throughout the entire match, we have a story being told, thank God, in some sense. Thanks to MJF, who actually knows how to tell a fucking story. And actually knows how to portray old school wrestling when it was actually in its good golden age. When wrestling actually meant something. When they drew about 5-6 million fucking viewers a week. And they weren't casuals. They followed it week after week after week. Because they fucking loved it. Hell, even WCW in its worst days still pulled better fucking viewership than both of these fucking companies. That's to tell you something about pro wrestling these days. It sucks! Swerve Strickland and Kevin Knight had a good matchup, but my God, it brought nothing to the table outside of having MJF sit there and staring off into the distance while watching this match and just basically studying his opponent. And that's really all you get from this match. That's the only story that was being told. The rest of it means absolutely nothing. Okay, Swerve Strickland gets a W over a fucking babyface who's a tag team champion with an ally who he's friends with now and has earned respect. How the fuck does this shit make any damn sense? I'll tell you why. It don't. It don't make any fucking sense. The show's absolutely fucking... It's pathetic. It could be great, but it's done terribly. And that is booking decisions. The wrestling can be great. I don't care how good the wrestling is. Without a story, the wrestling don't mean shit. Because the matches are predetermined. Now, if you want to start making this shit actually real, like where it's not predetermined, they go all in and they fucking haul off and crack each other in the face. I mean, I don't know if I would want to watch that. I think it'd be more dangerous than boxing or UFC, honestly. I mean, these guys are fucking, they'd be carting people off every match. But that's just my point, guys. I mean, they have so much potential, so much great talent there, but no fucking creative writing skills. And I want to see that occur, but I just don't see it happen. I don't see it happen in any wrestling promotion. I mean, fucking everyone shitting on TNA's debut. I watched the first 30 minutes. I thought, well, yeah, whatever. Who cares? Half of it was spent with airing fucking commercials and showing off celebrities that no one's ever heard of and all this other shit. And they got a 96,000 viewership on AMC. Oh, God. Professional wrestling, folks, I would say is going to be dead in the next 10 years. I really do. I think professional wrestling is dead in the water now. But it will be officially dead. You won't see one wrestling promotion being premiered on any... It won't be shown on any television station because not one fucking one... Every time these guys go out there and fail to produce and keep going with the same fucking station, with the same kind of programming, meaning like Time Warner, Universal, whatever. If you can't maintain those people to keep your services on their station because they don't see you bringing in what they're looking for, production and increased viewership, you're not going to last. I think after Netflix, after 5 years, I think WWE is going to have no place to go. Because I honestly think ESPN and Netflix will both tell them to go piss off when it comes to WWE. AEW most certainly will tell them to piss off after this contract that they have for so many years. Because I don't think Time Warner's at all happy or ecstatic about the fucking viewership that AEW's bringing into their fucking shows. Not to mention, Time Warner's looking to sell, and they may be selling it to Netflix. That's one of the rumored possibilities, as well as some other bidders that might save AEW from possibly getting booted out completely. I don't know. But I'm telling you, folks, wrestling is not got a long lifespan left. I think they're going to be dead in the next 5 to 10 years. I really do. I don't care. WWE's a fucking juggernaut. If you ain't got no one that's interested in buying your shit to air your crap on television or any streaming platforms, I can promise you this. You won't exist. And nobody fucking cares anymore. I never figured WWE would have one of their second best rated shows going under 1 million views. With a new world champion, no less, in a 3 stages of hell match. People did not tune in. That is pathetic. And so is wrestling at this point, because creatively they don't have a fucking clue what they're fucking doing anymore. Or they just don't care, and they're just collecting as much money as humanly possible and then closing their doors and saying fuck off to all the performers that work there. And they're too stupid to even see this coming. Or maybe they're smart enough to see it coming, and they're just saving their money, and they're right in it. They're all involved in it. I don't know. But anyway, guys, that's all I have to say at this time. Go ahead, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.